Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to you.
Episode 4 of
Look at us.
Sex, Sisters, and
the
the City. We have a jingle now officially, so you'll be hearing
Should
that.
play it here.
Welcome to Sex, Sisters in the City. Grab your Manolos and martinis from the dirty South to NYC. Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, Samantha, we feel like we know you. Big and Stanford and all the other sub-characters, we'll talk about them sometimes too.
And that's the jingle.
Crazy. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Episode 4.
Should we talk about the weekend?
Oh, man. You know, the weekend felt like 3 weeks.
Felt
like we packed a lot in.
It was Morgan's birthday. We had a wedding. We had a Mavericks game. There was a fight.
Halloween.
There
There
was
was a
vomiting.
fight.
There was lots to be had.
Lots of vomiting. Yeah.
I'll just tell the quick story. Morgan and her sweet boyfriend were doing karaoke. There was a man trying to get to her.
Sweet Caroline, obviously.
Yes.
Which is Brad's favorite song to sing at karaoke. So he's very
He's in it.
in it.
He's so in
invested.
it. He's just staring at hands,
He
touching
wants
hands.
it to be really good, and he, bless his heart.
He's with a professional singer.
he's
and
trying-
He's doing his best. And meanwhile, there is a man just trying to get to Morgan, just like
He's blasted.
he's really drunk. He keeps he just wants to get to her, and she's just kind of shoving him away, but also
roll the tape, Jamie.
roll the tape. But keeping it professional. And then my husband Greg steps in dressed as a 7-foot tall Beetlejuice. He's 6'3", but with a Beetlejuice wig and combat boots, he's a good 6'6". He's
Just huge, just giant.
and he defended your honor.
And yeah, he just pushes him to the ground, which Dad says he has the video of him actually getting pushed to the ground. Like in the video, you can hear Mom's like, "Oh, I really wish I got that," and then Dad's like, "I got it."
Well,
so I think Dad has it.
I do know our dad was taking a video, and at one point you see in the video, Greg just looks at my dad like, "What are you doing? Why are you filming this?"
And Dad's just cracking up. And then we're almost done with Sweet Caroline, but we're really killing it. And I think everything's over.
Unbeknownst to Brad, he's got no clue this is happening. He just is. The show must go on for him.
A true performer. And we look over and there's a full-on brawl.
There's a
happening.
full brawl.
Sean takes him and he's putting him in the sleeper.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really... I can't believe we just kept going. We finished the song.
The show must go on.
must go on.
And this man was removed from the situation.
Removed.
So that's what happens
He's banned from Boozy Bird.
when you mess with these girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other notable moments. It was a lot of drinking. And we dressed up as Mean Girls.
Yes.
And people didn't know who I was. I had cutouts in my tank top. You know, the famous Mean Girls scene.
Yeah.
And
You would think that...
I had multiple people say, "What are you doing there?" And I was like, I don't have time to teach you
no.
media literacy.
No.
There's no time to teach you that. This can't be taught.
I don't have time. I don't have time.
I kept saying, I don't have time. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
I kept being called Ivy or whatever.
Well, Poison Ivy?
Poison Ivy.
That's
yeah.
so strange. Yeah, she was Katie.
That's who I was. But no, I was Lindsay Lohan.
So the whole weekend was a mess. So we're happy to be back, and
Yes,
we're taking
back.
a long break from drinking. We're on our kombucha and water game today.
My gut is just so healthy.
You have the healthiest
So
gut.
happy and healthy. Episode 4.
Let's talk about episode
Let's
4.
get into it. It's my favorite episode by far.
It's a pretty good one. Valley of the 20-something guys, which I feel like we both know pretty well, actually.
I struggled with it because I didn't think that we could relate because we're talking about women in their 30s dating.
Yeah.
men in their 20s. But then I remembered you're pretty much 30.
Shut up.
So I thought, well, Lauren's going to know.
Shut up about that.
What this means.
I can certainly relate to dating someone younger and maybe less mature.
I think that's, and that's kind of where I got to. It's like, we're not going to really relate to anything in Sex and the City because we're not 30 yet. But like, I feel, exactly.
And
it's just relating to that
We'll-
concept.
We'll get to it, but their depiction of a 20-something guy's apartment, I thought, was
Excellent.
the most authentic thing
Excellent.
on the show I've seen.
Urban Outfitter scandals.
So let's begin. It starts with your favorite, big stalking Carrie.
They finally
they're
about it.
bumping into each other.
They finally discuss with what this huge hole in the plot that I'm just so upset about every single time we come to this. They still don't really, I mean, she doesn't talk about how crazy unlikely it is to bump into somebody more than twice, a stranger in New York City, in Manhattan.
She doesn't talk about it. Well, I mean, and again, it's like you said in episode 1, that would make me delusional too. It feels like fate, and they keep bumping into each other, and he's still not really asking for her digits. I don't know why I just said digits. What a weird thing to say.
Pretty much
I am
30.
old. He's not asking for a number. He's not getting her info, and he's stalking her. That's clear, and he's just playing hard to get.
Yes. He is stalking her.
And she said, so they pick a time to bump into each other on purpose.
For a drink thing.
A drink thing.
We still won't call it a date.
Can I ask, have you ever been invited to something where you were unsure if it was a date?
Yes, 100%. Well, but that's happened more so when it's like I get invited to something in like a group hang thing, and that's what they'll refer to it as. It's just like a group hang thing if you want to just like come by. And then I'm like, and then I ended up at a party where I only know this guy and I don't know anyone else. And then I'm like, but is it a date?
But are
or
we
is
together?
what was that about?
And was it ever a date?
Was it ever a date? So that's definitely happened. But I feel like if a guy were to say, you want to go grab a drink, I would think it was a date. And
that
I don't
makes
think I'd
sense.
be delusional about that. I think that would be.
No. And furthermore, I don't think I would agree. Is this weird that I don't think I would agree to hang out with a guy one-on-one if I didn't think it was a date? Like if I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I see that.
I've definitely hung out with guys one-on-one, I guess. But it was like, this is my friend. Like
But
we
also
are friends.
There would need to be like a reason. Like
Exactly.
like what are we discussing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it was a guy I wasn't interested in, then I would invite other people,
Yeah.
like girls or other guys or whatever.
Okay, so those group
like,
hang things were not. Got it. Nailed me.
but when you do invite the one guy to a group thing, I don't know.
I don't know though.
She didn't know either. She didn't, and I'm not sure what his intentions were. We'll never know Big's intentions with her.
Because he's like a crossword puzzle.
Oh, he's a puzzle. That's
puzzle.
what men in their 40s are. Yes, Samantha has an art opening. I was also going to
Restaurant
say,
opening, yes.
restaurant opening.
Yes.
I like how they repeat outfits in
Yes.
this.
I was going to say the same thing.
Same wavelength.
Yeah, here we are.
I like, because that's what real life is like.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a coat that fabulous, you're going to wear it
You're
a
gonna
lot.
wear it all the time.
And you're going to feel like, oh yeah, I
And
know.
it's still best dressed
it's
for me.
the same coat.
It's just,
It is.
There's nothing better than that mink coat.
This is not a fashion heavy episode. I have a
No,
different
it's
best
not.
dressed, but I wasn't really wowed by much in this
Okay.
episode.
I have a feeling we'll have the same worst dressed.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling.
Okay.
I put Carrie's coat and bag. Insane.
Yeah. Same coat, same bag, and it still looks great. It ages well.
God, it ages well.
Big is late. Classic.
Carrie's so down bad. She's calling him from the club.
She's calling it from the landline.
Crazy. That's so crazy. They had landlines and clubs. That's wild.
And how did you know it was the club phone? I guess people just answered every single call
I
that
don't
they
know.
got. No, but and then
that's pagers though.
so how did she get a hold of him? Was it she was talking because she said, Miranda, can you listen to this?
He has a car phone. Remember?
Oh yeah, but she said, Miranda, listen to this. So I thought she was checking maybe her voicemail at home or something, which I know people could do as well.
That's what it was.
That's
you
a
call it yourself
thing.
and you can listen to your voicemail.
That's a
what it was.
crazy,
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
thing.
Yes, and so she's asking. So Big isn't there. They were supposed to meet for this drink thing, and Carrie asked Miranda, "Hey, listen to this. Is this what did she say? Is he standing me up or what is
Yeah.
something like that?"
And she doesn't know. And I wrote, poor Carrie. I do feel bad for her.
In that
because
moment, I do feel bad because that's when you're like, oh shit, like he's been stalking me.
Yeah.
And then we finally have a date and he doesn't show up.
Like, I guess I was just reading into all these things. Maybe he thinks I'm stalking him is probably what I would think. I'd be like, oh my God, he thinks that I'm a total creep.
Oh God, yeah.
And they kind of enter the theme of the episode. Charlotte says to Miranda, I don't know how you can date that younger guy. Is he so scattered and unfocused?
Yes.
And Miranda says, no, you just kick him when he's down. You just train him like he's a dog.
Yes. God, Miranda, so mean to Skipper. They go in the club. Carrie meets John.
Yes.
So John, no last name. Who Samantha's there with. Mm-hmm. And
Sam, I think, is the other guy. They're so 90s, just off the bat. Like the most 90s looking guys you can imagine. And they know all the hookups. They know all the B's, the bouncers, the bartenders.
So, yeah, she says 20-something guys always know the really important B people. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's true.
That I kind of agree with you.
I think that guys in their, or I'm going to say early 20s, I don't think they have hookups to like the cool places or the nice places.
The girls do.
The girls have, yeah.
Because bouncers and bartenders don't want a bunch of guys in their clubs. I think if they're older, like 30s, they probably know bouncers and bartenders.
And I think from my experience, they might know the bartenders that are their friends at like the local sports bar that they go to watch college football at on Saturdays, but they don't know like the nightclub.
I feel like bartender. Women know those people.
That's what I was saying. I don't think that aged well.
I agree. I think women are the ones getting everyone into clubs. They know Samantha, and she probably knows everyone.
Exactly, and Samantha knows everybody.
Skipper finally enters. He gives Miranda.
So mean
She's
to him.
so mean to him. He goes, but also wild thing to order for someone if you don't know that they like it. He says, here's a rum and Coke. And she goes, I hate rum and I hate Coke.
I think that's so accurate. I think a younger guy would get me a rum and Coke. And I would be like, why?
That is so accurate.
Gross.
You're right. Why do young men always drink rum and Coke? Or they'd get you what they assume a woman likes, like a vodka cran or a vodka Red Bull. And I'd be like, I hate vodka and I hate cranberry juice.
But thank you.
And then the other guy brings her a martini, which she's like, yeah, give me that.
Tongue ring.
Yes, I literally have written down,
Jump scare.
Jump scare,
but also accurate.
You're right. But ultimate ick, like the ultimate ick. I think even if I were just like an it girl like Carrie in the 90s, I still know I would get the ick.
I'm not in piercing. I don't even have my ears pierced. I think I find them.
I don't like them. Me out.
I don't like piercings. And that's my own thing that I have to deal with.
They really gross me out because I have my metal thing.
Oh, you have a metal. See, we both have weird like phobias about that.
I don't like a small metal.
I don't like holes in the body.
Yeah. And just the idea that this piece of metal is just rolling around in your mouth all day.
She's very okay, but I do want to say that it kind of is like true. Like I feel like younger guys like
think that shit's cool.
But they always have something like
weird about it.
Like I dated a younger guy who had the like lip tattoo.
Oh, a lip tattoo. Yeah.
That. Yeah.
That makes sense. No, well, I was with a lot of guys with like thigh tattoos because thigh tattoos were the thing in college. Like you could just get drunk and go get a thigh tattoo.
Ear piercings.
Never with a guy with any sort of man jewelry because that is just not my thing.
Just hate metal.
I hate, especially on men. I just don't fuck with that. This next part is pretty funny. So she's flirting with this guy and then Big enters, which is very awkward because she's like, oh you're here. Yeah. Oh, I'm flirting with this guy.
Holding his tongue, looking at his tongue piercing.
Yeah. Have you ever been flirting with a guy and then someone better comes along and you're like, oh, you just like shove him.
Get away.
Get out.
I don't know him.
Get out of here.
I mean, yeah.
Definitely. I mean, a million times over.
Every girl can kind of relate to that.
Because typically you'll go to a party and you have a guy in your mind and you hope you see them or whatever. But in the meantime, you're going to,
And if you think they're not going to show up, if someone's like, oh, yeah, he's not coming. Okay. You're like, okay, plan B.
Yeah, I got to find someone else.
Yeah.
And then he does come up and then he comes up to you and you're like,
out of my
what?
Face.
Who is he? I don't know him.
Know who that guy is.
Who is that weird guy?
Weird.
Hey.
Yes, Big, visibly upset.
He kind of got the ick from her. He's like, if you're into that,
All
you're not into me.
Have fun. That's
Yeah.
what he says.
You have fun
Have
over here.
fun.
Oh, that'll get you down. But she does have fun.
She does.
She takes it pretty well. She's like, oh, I'm going back to it.
Yeah.
And then she clocks the word men in their 40s are like the New York Times crossword, tricky, complicated, and you're never sure if you've got the right answer.
I wrote the same thing. You know how much I love crossword puzzles.
I know. That's what I was going to say. She's a
And
big crossword girl.
And the Sunday Times, that's the worst.
That's the hardest
That's
one.
the hardest one. And
I would
those are
believe
men in their
that.
40s, I guess. I've never dated a
I've
man
never
in their
been even
40s.
No, I haven't either. But I would assume so because they're set. Our dad is in his 40s and he's dating women right now.
Definitely a crossword puzzle.
I can tell you, no one's been able to figure him
No.
out like at
No,
all.
Definitely not. Yeah, we can't even.
We
figure
can't
him
even
out.
figure out what he wants or what he likes. He
So,
changes.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah.
aged well. Yeah,
She immediately leaves like right then.
like right that they don't spend any more time at that club.
He's like, "You want to hit it?" She's like,
yeah.
"All right."
I like
But-
he goes, this place is tired.
Yeah.
That. I want to start using that. This place is tired, guys. You want to go somewhere else?
That's a great line.
Yeah.
This place is tired.
So they go to a 20-something bar.
Yes. And then she's got a couple different archetypes. There's the groovy, the corporate, the jock, the underaged. And I was going to say, it sounds like your exact dating history.
Okay, not underaged.
Never like
Never
fully
underage.
underage.
Never fully underage.
Never fully.
Probably a little too young for me.
But never too underage.
Yeah, that's hilarious. This would be my worst nightmare.
I would say I mostly go for the jock.
Definitely.
But
yeah.
you like the groovy sometimes.
you like the groovy. Like them all. You know? Yeah. So I love this scene because it's so crowded and uncomfortable, and they like Carrie and Samantha are both with their guys crammed on this little couch.
Yeah.
And it's just so accurate. It's like it would be so uncomfortable. And then at those like 20-something bars, I guess, like you always end up sitting on someone's lap. And you're like, why? This is so uncomfortable. I don't want to sit on your lap.
That's how it feels to be at a place like that. It's like, it's better if you're like them and you're actually with someone, but going to a place like that to meet someone is just like the most uncomfortable and like you got to be blacked out to be in a place like that, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I wrote, I would actually vomit making out with someone that much with a tongue ring, metal phobia. And then she wakes up, and I expected her to wake up with the guy in her room.
Yes, they didn't sleep together.
Good for
Yet.
her. Yet.
Samantha calls Scary to tell her about all the sex she had.
So much.
But it's so uncomfortable.
It's actually just very uncomfortable. She's just like, actually, like, and Carrie is like blatantly saying, like, I don't want to
like, I
hear
don't wanna
this.
hear this.
And she's like, oh, no.
No, you got to hear everything.
Let me tell you, I didn't sleep.
It's wild.
They're both in adorable nightgowns.
Yes.
Those are probably my best
Best
dressed.
dressed. Yeah, Samantha looks
Samantha
really good.
looks great. She doesn't look like she just got ran through for 12 hours straight.
No, she looks fantastic.
She looks actually pretty well
She looks
rested.
great. She looks well rested.
That for Sam, that is well rest.
Yes. I put, quote, were men in their 20s the new designer drug?
Yeah, I saw that. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny though. I feel like in this case, maybe they're talking about the stamina of 20-year-olds, but
so. Yeah, and I was thinking about this because I have dated I've usually dated younger guys, and I think it's just, I think there's something about just kind of having control.
Okay.
For me, I think that might be what she's talking about. Like,
it's kind of what Miranda was
there's
saying.
like a high and like being the one in control a little bit, and also just someone younger than you, like being attracted to you when they could be with
Someone younger than
19-year-olds.
them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and I feel like that's going to be way more possible when we're actually in our 30s. And if 20-year-olds like us, we're going to be like, oh, we're hot.
Oh yeah,
good
exactly.
looking.
It's probably for sure a confidence booster, I could see.
I think there's a control aspect to it, though.
Yeah, because I can't imagine that younger guys are better in bed. They might have more stamina, and maybe they're the ones that are teaching them what to do.
I think it might be just I don't know. I think it doesn't, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I think that younger guys can be better for all sorts of different reasons, and then older guys can be better for all different
Yeah,
reasons.
exactly.
I don't think that there's this like
This-
younger guys are better in bed.
This trope doesn't necessarily hold true. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Oh yeah, they go into getting some perspective on why. She's like, but what do they see in us? I thought that was funny.
I thought that was interesting too. And I was like, don't discount yourself. But then they start asking the guys, and none of them had a great answer except Skipper. And Skipper says,
They know who they are and what they want.
yeah, they know who they are and what they want.
I think the give great head and know a lot about wine was pretty accurate. What do you say so myself?
They remind me of my mom.
Yeah, that was funny. Smart, please bleep out smart, because I hate and I don't want to hear myself say that word because I hate that word.
Okay, we'll bleep it out.
I hated that.
Yeah, I didn't.
That didn't age well.
I don't even want to talk about what that means. Yeah, Miranda has, and then I wrote, do younger men feel safer? Miranda has the best answer, which says, do what I tell you. She says they do what you tell them to do.
Yeah.
And that's got to be pretty exciting. It's kind of like what we talked about last week, where we talked about like the appeal of Skipper and just the idea like, yeah, you can have all the control and power in that relationship. And that's exciting for a lot of people.
And then Carrie lies to Miranda about going to see Sam when it's hilarious. She's going to help him pick out a shirt, which I think is that's such a good idea for like their first date.
It is.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, and it also like already puts the power dynamic right
Yes.
there. Like he needs her help
needs
to do
help.
that.
Yes.
And he's going to be the fun, cute guy in the dressing room who's trying to make out and
And she's like, "What? That's crazy."
every time I've gone shopping with a man, it's never been that.
never
like
been
that
that
at all.
hot,
It's
no.
actually exhausting.
No, I
It's
hate
like,
it.
do you not like this one?
And it's always just like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, go try it on. And the guy says, "This isn't the Gap.
Yeah.
This is a Banana Republic. We have standards."
Possible boyfriend. She threw out that.
Interesting.
It's pretty wild.
It's rare that we see her throw
Rare
out
that we see her throw out the boyfriend.
the B word.
But that's when you see what Carrie really wants.
She does want a boyfriend.
She wants a boyfriend, but I think she wants somebody where she's just a little bit ahead of them and she can kind of pull the strings. She doesn't want someone controlling her.
No, she definitely doesn't. But and we'll get to this later when we get to. I think she kind of had that with Aiden, and she just didn't really like it.
Yeah.
Like I think she says she wants that,
Yeah.
but I don't think it will ever like long term make her happy. She ultimately, I think, really just likes her independence,
Yeah.
and she likes to have a boyfriend. But she's not like Charlotte, where she's like saying like I want a man. You know.
Yeah, agreed.
I can't wait to get to the Charlotte part of this story. First, we have Carrie finally gets asked on a date with Big, and Charlotte calls with a big predicament, which I love. I love the way they set this up. It's really genius.
Carrie has 5 minutes. She's like, Charlotte, come on. Like, I gotta go. 4 minutes.
But she's like, I'll be there right there. She's
I'll
like,
be right there. She drops everything.
I love that. She did
It's
that.
so funny. It's just it's such a comedic. The writing is really comedic because the way that she's kind of coddling Charlotte, like she just got broken up with.
Yeah.
Like she's so like, I'm so sorry. Like, baby,
She's
got
like,
you.
start from the beginning.
She's like, start everywhere. Like, I'm here for
I'm
you.
here, like I'm right outside your door, and Charlotte is just traumatized by this
Traumatized.
request, and they're all have so much pity for her, like, oh, Charlotte of all people has to get asked this by this perfect man.
And what does she get asked?
Tomorrow after dinner, I want to have anal sex, is what he asks her, and Charlotte is so scared and sad.
That's a terrifying thing to be asked.
I can't
So-
imagine that. Well, it would be a quick like, what is wrong with you?
I was just looking, we've been dating 2 weeks.
What is wrong with you?
wrong with you?
I do, however, find it charming and maybe unrealistic that he asked.
Yes. Unrealistic, definitely.
I think a guy who doesn't know you well might
Yeah.
just go in for the kill without you knowing. So, he asked, and I
Yeah,
will
so it's
give
nice.
him that bit of
props on
credit,
that.
I suppose. And this is where the writing gets really good.
Really good.
They ask everyone's feedback.
So they go and they pick up Miranda.
Yeah, and it's just this
She's
funny
very
montage.
logical. She's very logical about it, which I love.
Yeah.
And I love that they all have the same kind of care and concern until Samantha.
They do. And Miranda's like, okay, let me get all the information.
Yes.
She goes, it depends on how much you like him. There's a shift in power. Will he respect you more or less? And my assumption is less. That early. I don't think
That
there's
might be
any world where
problematic.
I don't know. Well, I don't think a guy's respecting you more. Is that crazy? Is that problematic?
I think it might be a little bit.
Okay.
I don't think if that's what you're into, there shouldn't be any.
Ultimately, I don't think it really does shape any sort of form of respect if it's like consensual
Obviously,
and the
we
woman
would
likes
need,
it.
like a man's perspective on this, but I don't want a man's perspective.
I don't
on
want a man's
this.
perspective on this because I think they would be like, it would make me respect them more.
I would respect you so much.
I would
babe.
respect them so much if they
Respect
did
you.
that. That is so much respect there. Yeah, but it was an interesting setup, I guess, is will he respect you more or less? That's such a Miranda way to come about it.
I think
She's
I
a
paused it
litigator.
right there, and I was like, huh.
I was trying to think about it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think there's a camp of people. That's what she said. There's a camp of people that would say that you might have the power.
Yeah.
Or he might have the power after that.
That's true, because I'm sure many people wouldn't agree to that. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I got to wife this girl up.
Then we have Samantha for a little bit of a voice of reason.
She goes, a hole is a hole.
and it's fabulous.
Right, guy, right? Lubricant is fabulous.
Yeah. I think Samantha's delivery of this is so good.
It is really good, and it's also very sex positive,
Yes.
and right, and under the right circumstances, like, girl, you can really enjoy yourself, and like it's very positive, and
Very positive.
I did like it.
I just love having Samantha's perspective on these kinds of situations. 'Cause
Yeah.
it really is like a breath of fresh air.
they're like
She's so funny.
like the movie Inside Out. I feel like I just have the four of them in my
Yes,
head at all times.
At all times.
they're
The
they're my
angel and the
Inside
devil.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so happy for Charlotte.
She is. She's like,
she's
wow.
genuinely happy for her.
Then Carrie says, funny line. She goes, "Sir, we're talking about up the butt. A cigarette is in order."
Cigarette is in order. I wrote the same thing. I said that might be my quote.
Yeah, and the cab driver is great. He's
yeah,
just he's like,
hilarious.
"You crazy girls." I've certainly been in situations like that in an Uber where the Uber driver's just like, "What?"
What are you guys talking
And I'm like,
about?
"We don't need your input. You can laugh, but we
You're
don't."
driving,
Yeah,
sir.
keep your eyes on the
Eyes
road.
on the road.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite scene.
Hilarious.
So then we get Carrie. Carrie does make her date with Big, but I was happy for her that she prioritized this active situation first.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Big invites his awful divorced friend to drinks with Carrie, and he's awful.
Can we talk about Carrie shouldn't look good here, and she does.
She does. She looks really beautiful
She
in a
looks so
in a
pretty.
god awful dress.
In the worst dress. This is your first date with this guy that you really like.
I was shocked.
I was like, "What are you wearing? Did you? What is that?"
I was
It's like
shocked.
A weird V-neck with like,
With
it looks like
buttons?
fake little like diamond things.
Yeah, it was not cute. It was not, and they're at like what seems to be a nice
It was a
restaurant.
nice place. I was just confused. The coat you can put over anything and it looks fantastic, but
The dress
that
wasn't my
was a
favorite.
wild
I
choice.
literally have it in my worst dressed, I think, because
that's why I said I think we both have the worst.
it's occasion dependent. So
Yeah.
it's like it's one thing if you're wearing that to brunch with the girls, but this is your first date with
No,
Big.
It was wild.
and
It was a
she's
wild
wearing that.
choice. I was worried about her in that moment.
I know. I was like, well, no wonder he invited his friend.
I will say she showed up pretty late too, so it's not all on Big.
Yeah.
For this date, not
She was
going
in the
that
cab
well.
for a while,
She
it
was in the cab for a
seemed.
while. She showed up late, but yes, then Big is like, "Here's my friend," and that's when she's done. She's
Yeah, she's pissed.
she's pissed, and I love it.
So I will say, so he's just being really annoying. He's like, look at that other woman or whatever, like that. He just can't take a hint. But then when he walks away and Big says, he was crying. What did you want? Like, he called me crying. That to me would potentially endear me to someone, I'd be like, oh, you're a good friend and you didn't want to cancel on me again. And I like her reaction where she says next one's on me, or I thought she had the
Leaving
best.
cash at the table is such a baller move.
Such a baller move. I wrote down baller move too. It's
is-
so good.
If I'm ever mad at someone again and we're like, oh, man, I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
But we're just not going to be at a restaurant. We're like at home.
We're just at home.
Next one's on me. Throws a $1 bill.
And that was her cab fare, as she
And
said.
that was her cab fare.
She had to walk home.
And I love the abso-fucking-lutely.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah.
Um,
It's really good. Then she walked 48 blocks in $400 shoes.
Oh, those shoes are so cute.
But yeah, I think I would find that potentially charming. I'm not as strong as Carrie. I'd be like, all right, let's make the best of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the fact that he wanted her to meet one of his friends. I mean, his friend might have sucked, but like still.
It's still a friend.
Still a friend.
Exactly. So
Meets up with 20-something Sam.
tongue ring Sam.
Tongue ring Sam.
Sometimes you just need a little kiss to feel better.
I get that.
Who among us? Who among us?
I get it. And sometimes it's not even, you don't even want to hook up with somebody. You kind of just want to make
like,
out.
Let me just go for this easy target. I
Yeah.
had a bad night. I know he'll just be in this bar. What I will also say is that's part of the show that I also just find so 90s and charming, that I do think it used to be like this, where you could just like go in. So you couldn't call someone or text them to see where they were. So you would just go to a place that like they typically hang out and be like, oh yeah, there you are. I thought I'd find you here. You know?
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, oh, this is so unrealistic. She just goes and she finds him.
Mm-hmm.
But like 20-something guys, they usually just go to the same bars
Yeah.
every night.
I think back then especially
Yeah.
too, because you just kind of, you're a creature of habit. I think discovering places was harder back before
Yeah.
you had like no internet or anything like that. So you'd find a place that you love and you'd just go there all the time.
Yeah.
I love that. Then we get back to Charlotte. Poor thing.
Her hair is everything. Like, her hair is so good.
It's so great. I do kind of hate her outfit in this
I
scene.
don't love her outfit either.
It's not my favorite of hers, but it's also very her. You know,
is
we
her.
can, and I think it highlights her innocence and her
especially in this scene.
her prudishness.
So she has to tell this guy no. And it's adorable.
She's really adorable, and she says, "I don't want to be the up the butt girl. I want children and nice bedding, and I can't handle this right now."
You ever heard of Mrs. Up the Butt?
You ever heard of Mrs. Up the Butt? It's so good.
Genius. And then he takes it really well. Yeah.
He does. He goes, "We can just do it the normal way."
Old-fashioned way.
And
Yeah.
I love, she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
Adorable.
She's always got a new boyfriend in these first couple
Yeah.
scenes too. Like,
And it doesn't really talk about that.
they never talk about how it ends. It's always just
how they
like,
meet.
Yeah, or how it's like, oh, she's got a new boyfriend,
Yeah.
and then he inexplicably leaves, which I do think is also kind of realistic. That
Look at her.
happens to people.
I mean, of course, she always has someone.
She's
on
a
her arm.
boyfriend girl
Yeah.
too.
Okay, then we go on to Samantha and her 20-something guy. They're hooking up,
Mm-hmm.
and he says she's laying down. She's like, "That was great," and he goes, "It's so cute when you lay like that. I can just see your little wrinkles in your neck."
I know.
Just never say the word wrinkle.
Don't
to
say it.
somebody.
Just
There's
don't
no
say it.
reason.
I will say it's so annoying. Greg does this all the time, where sometimes when I'm laying down, he'll like pinch my little fucking neck fat or something. And I'm like, can you fucking not?
Or just the pinching of any fat.
No.
Or any like.
Can
or,
you
like,
not?
What's that?
Like, yeah.
Dot on your face.
What? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
See
The
that
amount of.
little unibrow right there. Like,
Yeah. Oh, sometimes, and this is so embarrassing, Greg will pull off like you just get these random long blonde hairs on your face and you don't know where they come from. They're just like it's like a whisker, I guess, but they're light. They're not dark.
Yeah.
But he'll just go and rip it off. And I'm like, you could just leave that to me.
You just calm down.
Leave it to me.
Don't ever touch me again.
Don't you
Ever.
touch me again.
No.
I felt for her in that scene. And she said she decided right then and there he would always be younger and she would always be older, which I completely get.
Yeah.
I think that would definitely kind of bother me long term. I think that's why I haven't really dipped my toes in the younger pool all that much.
Yeah, I did write something about that. Samantha keeps getting older and the 20-year-olds keep staying the same age. I think that was,
Surprised she didn't say that.
Yeah,
I mean, and they didn't really hold true to that because she definitely
she
goes.
does.
She goes back
Yeah.
to some younger guys
Yeah.
later on. She can't help herself. What are you gonna do?
And I think there's something about what she said is like, I think Samantha likes to be the one that's constantly wanted
Yeah.
in the relationship. And I think at that point she knows, like, if she keeps dating these younger guys, they're on to the next one, on to the next one.
For sure. I do think she appreciates some form of consistency. She
Yeah.
gets sick of them too. I definitely sympathize. I can't imagine if like it's a new hookup and they're calling out your neck wrinkles.
No way. No, out of there.
I don't
Out
care
of there.
if you say it's cute or not.
No.
I am making a Botox appointment.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Or like, I've been getting gray hairs.
Oh, me too.
Dude.
My mom just pointed them out. I was like, okay, we beefing?
We never ever speak
She goes,
to me again.
are you getting grays? I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm aware. And she goes, I didn't get my first gray until I was 34. I was like, I got my first at 22.
Yeah, jeez.
Okay.
Kim,
God.
so mean.
When did you start going gray?
I got my first gray about a year ago.
Yeah, I got my first. This is after dad, I think, but I got my first in college. I was like,
Yeah, and I can just pull them out.
I got to get my roots done. I have an appointment next week.
I don't want to dye my hair too. I need to stop doing shit to my hair. So Carrie and Sam ended up going back to Sam's place. How does she not know she's on a twin bed?
Oh yeah, it is a twin bed.
It's a twin bed.
It does seem a little bit glamorous with like the Moroccan sheets at first.
You think it's kind of like hippie and
Yeah.
cool.
And then
She wakes up.
oh my gosh, the moment of truth. And if I have not been in that place,
So help me God.
so help me God.
It's everything comes to light in the morning.
And it's so foul, the things that I found.
Oh God. The air mattress on the ground, that's been one for me.
Air mattress.
Air mattress.
I've definitely
Didn't even know that it was an air mattress.
really.
No, until the next morning.
That's bad. I have actually woken up on a deflated air mattress before with someone, but we didn't hook up.
Yeah.
Another time, cans of like dip spit. You know when guys, yeah. One time
Jail.
I was seeing this guy for a couple months actually, and one night I had it because I was just sick of how disgusting his room was. Like
so
truly,
gross.
like
So gross.
I woke up one morning and there were coins in the bed. Which if you know me, that is my
Lauren has a phobia of metal and coins. And
Disgusting.
As we talked a little bit about.
disgusting.
In the bed is
And
foul.
Just like they'd fallen out of his
Loose
pants or whatever.
change
Oh my God.
in the bed.
And I was
That's
yeah,
it.
It
That's it.
makes me want to vomit when I think about it. And I ghosted him. And then he came to my house without me inviting him. And he was like, what's going on? Like, why have you been avoiding me? It's like, you had coins in your bed.
Why are you asking?
I was
me
like, get
this?
out.
Never speak to me again.
Get out.
I think my worst morning realization was going into the bathroom. Oh God. And there's, first of all, no shower curtain on the shower.
Men never have a
No
shower
shower
curtain.
curtain.
They'll have like the cloth one in the shower as if that's like, he didn't have anyone? Not one?
No.
Not a one?
And so
Oh,
I
no.
went to wash my hands. No soap, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm just washing my hands
How
and
do
my
they
face
live?
with water. And I go like to find a towel, and I see some towels in the bathtub, and I looked and I pick one up and it's stale.
It's like totally hard.
It's
Like that
like,
was used.
yeah.
Okay.
And I screamed. I screamed so loud. That was the worst. Yeah, it never returned,
That's really bad.
to say the least.
I will say
The stiff towel is I think a little bit worse than the coin.
that's horrific. The stiff towel is horrific. I have one more guy in a bad apartment story, but I'll tell the story about Greg. He was always like nothing really ever grossed me out a ton, but he did have a bed on the floor for like the first year of our relationship. I think every man it's like a rite of
I've
passage.
had beds on the floor.
It's like a rite of
happens.
passage for men and maybe a lot of young people. And in his defense, I had a mattress or I had a bed frame that just kept breaking. Like every time we used it, it broke. But I slept over at his house.
freaks?
For a couple of freaks. I slept over at his house, and on my birthday weekend, our very first birthday of mine together. So we were probably together for like 6 months. It was early days. And I woke up from sleeping on a bed on the ground, and I had a giant rash all across my face, all across the left side of my face, to the point where I thought that I had gotten like 9 or 10 zits, like critical acne overnight. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this is so crazy. Like, how did I get 10 zits overnight? Like, that's so weird. And then I just like wasn't thinking. It was a work day, so I covered my face in makeup, went to work, and just the more I'm like looking at it at work, I'm like, can't be acne. Like, it's too weird. Like, I wouldn't wake up with 10 new zits, like without anything real happening. And as it turns out, I went to a dermatologist, like an emergency dermatologist that day, because I was like, this isn't right. And the dermatologist said that I had been completely eaten up by a spider in the night.
That is so awful.
Yeah.
And you married this man.
I married him. That's how great he is, that he made it through whatever that was. I was like, I'm not sleeping at your house for a long time, and you need to clean your sheets. And
you need to have a professional.
Maybe get a bed frame.
Yeah.
Because a spider crawled into the bed and just ate up my face.
Destroyed your face.
As I was sleeping on my side, he was unscathed. Not one bite on his.
Never been bitten by a spider in his bed before.
No, not one bite on his little chinny chin. Meanwhile, I'm just covered, and it's my birthday weekend, and like
terrible.
it sucked. I was literally my birthday the next day, and I felt
Do you have
so
pictures?
ugly. I do.
Roll the tape.
I'm not. I will not
Okay, well,
post
you
that
can
on
show
the
me
internet,
after
but I will show you because it is the grossest thing you've
Dude,
ever
that's
seen.
so
It's really bad
horrible.
because it got worse as the days progressed. Like it became more inflamed.
Well, of course, because you like immediately put makeup in it
Yeah.
and didn't know what it was. And
the dermatologist was like, I see little bites on each of those. Like I see, she's like, you see a puncture on each one.
God.
She's like, that's how I know it's not anything like a zits or anything internal or like a rash. She's like, it's something external.
so scary.
And it was like, springtime, bugs are starting to come back. It was so bad. And I was
terrifying.
like, we're sleeping in my house.
Yeah.
You're washing your sheets. So ladies, think about that.
Think about that.
Next time you go to
You
a
wanna
guy's
date
house.
a 22-year-old.
Yeah, and his bed's on the ground.
Yep. And they're stale towels.
Stale towel is bad.
God. Ugh.
So,
So yeah. The talking about your dream is so accurate.
oh yeah. She goes, I'm in a 20-something apartment, and then he just won't stop. He won't shut up about his dream.
Oh, well, we skipped the part. Yeah, his apartment is just
It's foul.
foul. Absolutely disgusting.
It's really horrific, but they also make it like he thinks it's cool,
Yeah, like you
it's-
hang the tapestries.
Yeah, like it's not
Incense.
it's not like the kind of guy's apartment where it's like 5 TVs and they didn't like this guy thinks his place is cool.
Thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Beads.
Yeah, and she
everywhere.
goes like Urban Outfitters candles.
Yeah. And then he just wakes up and he's like, I had what he said. I had the most amazing dream. I dreamt my father and my ex-girlfriend were dead or something.
Yeah.
I was like, what a crazy thing to say.
I know.
What a crazy thing to say. I thought they were dead or something. Oh, good morning, beautiful. Kisses are on the cheek.
This guy's performance is pretty great.
Really good.
Like he's a pretty good comedic actor. He
Yes.
looked very familiar to me too.
I think he's been in stuff.
He's been in other stuff.
Yeah.
No, he was really funny.
He just keeps talking about his dream, and Carrie's like, I need coffee, which
Yeah.
is so, you never think about it, but like the older we get, the less we start talking about dreams. I feel like that's I think it's like a younger thing to kind of talk
Oh,
about.
for sure. And I'll even sometimes when Greg tells me about his dream, I'm like, okay, honey.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Why do I care?
How is that relevant?
If I'm not in it 100% of the time, I don't want to know about it.
Yeah, I will say and it is a younger thing because in high school I kept a dream journal.
Oh, yeah.
And I wrote down my dreams every day.
Well, I was in like middle school.
Well, I was curious if I could sense a pattern or whatever, and I wrote down my dreams every day in just like my notes app on my phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. And then at the end of the year, I read through it all and I was like, what do I have to show for this?
What is none of this? Dreams don't matter.
It didn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean
It's
anything.
like, what a waste of time.
I think the most accuracy dreams have is like, if you have bad dreams, it probably means you're stressed out. I think there's truth to that.
Yeah, there's like,
And that's about as far as all that dream lore
you
goes.
lose your teeth or whatever.
Yeah,
I
you're
have
stressed
that a lot.
about something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Break my phone. I have ones that Greg cheats on me and I always like get mad at him about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Those are just our deepest, darkest internal fears coming to life.
Just wake up really pissed off.
Damn it. God damn you.
And this guy, yeah, he's going on. He just won't take a hint. And then she doesn't have toilet paper. Also,
Well, that's just.
if I had a nickel,
Yeah.
every time I've been there, just not even at hooking up with a guy, just any man's house that doesn't
There's
have
never
toilet paper.
toilet paper.
We were at our dad's house this weekend. I think I was in the bathroom at least 4 times, and there was
Where
no
does it
toilet
keep
paper.
going?
Where does it keep going? I kept
just-
wondering that.
I kept
was like,
getting new rolls.
okay, I was wondering how you were replenishing because I would just be in there and there would be none, and I'd be like, I guess I have to use one of my makeup wipes again.
Yeah. I would just keep asking Brad. I don't know where they went, where
No.
the rolls went.
I don't know where they kept
Like, I
going either.
just refilled this.
Yeah, it was out like 4 separate times. Then we were sharing a bathroom with 2 men at a man's house, and it just where does it go? Where does it go?
Where does it all go? And this I put this is when we discover Carrie's got issues. She has a good balance of like, I think obviously her work life, work and play, but like she had to go see Sam because she needed like some sort of serotonin boost. Then
Yeah?
she had to go buy shoes because I think she has these little addictions.
You're right. You know, I didn't think about that, but she's very flawed in that way, and she's very honest in that way.
But I mean, we all have our little
Oh, for sure. I'm probably
Caveats.
that way with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially with boys, though. I mean, I feel like back when I was single, especially, like, you're just a validation machine
Yeah.
a little bit. Like, there's no consistent validation. So you're constantly searching
looking for
it
other
in-
ways of getting it. Yeah.
Yeah, in a million places, sometimes in your friends, sometimes in shopping. I mean, it really is typically in those 3 places, especially when you're single. It's like, well, if I buy a new outfit, that will fix all this.
Yes.
Or if
Yeah.
I, meet a new guy, that'll fix all this for sure. And then, yeah, he said he was brewing coffee with the toilet paper, which
That was the last straw. That's it.
her
All
face.
right.
Come on.
Never in a million years.
So yeah,
go
she
back
buys
there.
some shoes. Then she runs into Big again. It's just a part of it. It's just a thing.
I
at
just
this
have to
point.
get used to it.
Yeah.
I yelled at the TV. I said, no,
Come on.
not again.
Not
This is
today.
So stupid.
It is so stupid.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, why don't you ever run into the person you want to see?
Runs into Big again.
And he's doing the
And-
crossword.
He's doing the crossword.
That
got me.
would work on you
That got me.
for sure.
Crosswords are hot. Hashtag crosswords are hot.
Pretty impressive that she could just look
Look
at
at it.
and know from that. I guess that's the writer in her.
But also she does crosswords.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if I saw like if I did the one from yesterday. So if I saw someone was doing the Monday crossword, I would be like, oh, I know that one, because like you look at it so much, you kind of memorize the whole thing.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
she had probably already done
Done
it.
it.
I see. That makes sense. Because I was like, she just figured it out from that angle. But that makes a lot more sense. She says, I'm good at crossword puzzles, just not so good at people puzzles.
Yeah. I liked how she said that to him and not the speak over.
I think if someone said that to me, I would find it very charming. Like, I
Yes.
think he was like,
think
all
that
right,
was
you're right.
adorable.
You know?
And she's doing the hard to get very well.
She
She's like,
is.
I'm not sitting with you. Goodbye.
She's very good. She's got
good at it.
game,
She's got
especially
game.
in this episode.
She's charming there.
She's got a lot of game.
And Big's like, he's like, let me take you to dinner. And what is I can't remember her response, but she's like, no, I don't think she says no, but
She says like, call me or
call me.
something.
That's
Yeah.
what she
Like,
says.
like I'm not going to agree to something right now. Like, and he's like, any place you want.
Like she's got him. She's got him in that moment.
This part is really cute too, where she says, maybe all men are a drug. Sometimes they bring you down and sometimes they get you so high. And then she turns around and she said, damn. Would have been cool if I hadn't looked back. God. She's so cute.
I loved that. That one, I smiled. I was like,
I did too.
Carrie,
It was like,
you're a BFF girl.
She's so cute.
She's so cute in that moment.
And that's kind of where it comes back to. She's so relatable in all those moments because she does the thing that you wish you could do. Like she's got game. Like she's not being a
The
pick
money
me.
on the table.
Money on the table. Like
The crossword.
she knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
In this episode, absolutely. So I loved it. I thought it was a great, fun one.
Yeah. We keep saying, like, they just keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. Like,
I don't think there's an episode that we won't love, honestly.
besides the pilot.
Besides the pilot.
It's
yeah.
terrible.
Pilots, people are still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Should we do awards?
Words.
Awards! Who won the episode?
I put Charlotte one.
I wrote Charlotte too.
Aw.
We're on the same. Yeah, because she did win. I think that guy handled it well. She ended up having just her polite sex on Egyptian cotton sheets, as Carrie said.
That's all she wanted.
Yeah,
She told him what she wanted, and she was very straight up with him. So
and he was like all good with
We
it.
love
Yeah,
that.
I
She
wrote
won.
Charlotte. Who lost the episode?
Samantha,
Yeah,
I think.
I thought so too.
That would be the third episode in a row that Samantha lost.
Poor Samantha. They keep cutting a bitch down.
So high.
She always starts
and
so
falls
high.
so low.
I know. It always ends. And maybe they're trying to tell us something. I don't know. But yeah, her face of just like turning
We'll
over.
analyze that later.
Yeah.
No, I don't have time
We'll
for
see.
that.
Best outfit. Mine is Samantha's nightgown.
Okay, I gotta say the coat.
The coat again.
The coat with the red bag at the club.
Yeah, she looked great. And her
So hot.
outfit at the club was also
Her outfit
pretty
at the
cute.
club was cute.
It was pretty plain,
Yeah.
but it was very cute.
Worst dressed, we both know.
Worst dress, Carrie's blue dress for sure.
What was that?
It was so bizarre, and it was like a chance to really wow us.
It made me angry, actually.
It made me very angry.
Yeah.
And maybe that was part of what she was trying to do, was be like, I don't care about this. So I'm gonna
Understated.
wear
low-key.
something like
Yeah.
super. Because I will say there's probably nothing worse than feeling very overdressed on a date.
Yes.
If you've, not that Big would ever be underdressed. We never
always in a
don't
suit.
see him in a suit. And they're always at nice places, but maybe she was just trying to be cool girl and not have anything like too, like, I don't care about this, you know?
Yes.
Her body is tea though.
God. Well, that's the thing. She can wear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite quote was, I don't want to be the up the butt girl. I want children and nice bedding, and I just can't handle this right now. There's no Mrs. Up the butt girl.
Love that. Sir, we're talking up the butt. A cigarette is in order.
I loved that.
So good.
All just like the up the butt talk
It's
was just
hilarious.
really funny. Like that they all
Really
just
good
kept
comedic
referring.
writing.
Yeah, very funny. What age the best? My thoughts are the 20-something apartment. Just find so accurate.
Agreed.
And then the man asking consent to go up the butt.
I love that we're like surprised by
We're
that.
just like, oh, how nice that he asked. I mean, I do think a normal, kind, good guy would ask, but
I think dropping everything, dropping your whole life, dropping a date with the guy that you've really been looking forward to going on a date with. It's like finally, and you drop everything because your friend was asked to do up the butt, and you have to go help.
and you're
them.
like, this poor thing. I need to
it's
help
like
her.
They just broke up.
I do love. They're all so loyal to one another.
Yes.
I do think that aged really well.
Yeah.
What aged the worst? Tongue rings.
Yeah.
Tongue
think
rings
so.
aged very poorly. Is there anything else for you that aged poorly?
I think 20-somethings always knowing the important B people.
Yeah, that's just not true.
Bartenders, busboys, butt bouncers. I don't think it's true. Yeah.
You say butt bouncers?
Busboys, bouncers. Butt bouncers.
I've got butt on the brain.
I got butt on the mind.
Who was the most toxic? I said big. No one was very toxic in this
No one is
episode.
really that toxic. I think if I'd have to say anybody, it would be Big.
Yeah.
Miranda's kind of toxic. Miranda's kind of really mean to Skipper.
She's very mean to Skipper. Yeah, she's just bossing him around. I hate rum and I hate Coke.
Yeah. But thanks.
But thanks. Yeah.
So
She's like,
she's
can
just angry all the time.
yeah. She's like, you can make them your whipping boy.
She's a working lady. She had a hard day.
She had a hard day. She just needs Skipper to
Litigation.
shut up and give her what she needs.
I object.
Miranda is a little bit toxic in this.
Yeah.
Was this feminist? I said definitely.
Definitely.
I thought the whole thing was pretty
100%.
feminist. Yeah.
Especially Samantha. It's our femme queen.
Our femme queen. Love her. And then overall rating, I said 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Higher than the last one.
I really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was hilarious. I was laughing out loud multiple times.
It was hilarious.
The car scene, the up the butt stuff, and then the Sam talking about his dream, I thought was hilarious.
Yeah. People just don't write like this anymore.
The writing was exceptional in this. I
It's-
thought it was really good.
It's so it really still to this day pushes the boundary on what you can and can't talk about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
makes it feel so relatable and, lived in. Loved it. 10 out of 10. Well, no, I
8 out
gave
of
it 7
10.
out of 10. But
Yeah.
okay. I think there we have it.
There we have it.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. That's a wrap.
Love you. Later.